Welcome to English Mindset with PRJ. Wait, stop scrolling for a second. I have a challenge for you. Can you speak English for the next 13 minutes without being afraid of making mistakes? Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a boring English lesson. Today, you're going to join a real conversation with us, and by the end of this practice, you'll feel much more comfortable speaking English.
And here's the fun part. You don't have to memorize difficult grammar rules. Just listen to us, copy the way we speak, and say the sentences out loud. Imagine that you're sitting right here with us, having a normal conversation about life, confidence, travel, dreams, and even some embarrassing moments.
There is only one rule. Don't stay silent. When you hear us speak, listen carefully, and then repeat the sentence with the same rhythm and emotion. If you make a mistake, don't stop. Keep going. Remember, the goal isn't to sound perfect. The goal is to become comfortable speaking English.
So put your phone down if you can. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and get ready. For the next 13 minutes, English is the only language we're going to use.
Ready?
Let's begin.
Alex, I have to tell you something embarrassing. This morning, I woke up at 7 o'clock, looked at my phone, and told myself, I'll get up in 5 minutes. Then I closed my eyes for just a moment, and when I opened them again, it was 8:30.
That doesn't sound embarrassing. That sounds completely normal. I've done exactly the same thing. The funny part is that we always say just 5 more minutes, as if 5 minutes is actually going to make us feel more energetic. Somehow 5 minutes becomes 30 minutes, and suddenly we're running around the room looking for our clothes.
Exactly. And the worst part is that my alarm had already gone off 3 times. I kept turning it off without even opening my eyes. At one point, I think I was having an argument with my alarm clock in my sleep. I finally got out of bed, looked in the mirror, and realized I looked like I had just survived a war.
I can imagine that. But honestly, mornings can be difficult when you don't have a good routine. I used to wake up and immediately check my phone. I would open one video, then another video, then check my messages, and before I knew it, 30 minutes had disappeared.
That happens to so many people. We pick up our phones for one small thing, and suddenly we're watching videos about things we didn't even care about 5 minutes earlier. That's why I've started keeping my phone away from my bed. Now, when I wake up, I drink some water, open the window, and spend a few minutes thinking about what I actually want to accomplish that day.
That's a really good habit. I've also realized that the way you start your morning can affect your entire day. If you start the day feeling rushed and distracted, you usually stay that way. But if you start slowly and intentionally, you feel more in control.
You know what else I used to struggle with? Speaking English in front of other people. I could understand English when I watched videos, and I knew a lot of vocabulary. But when someone suddenly asked me a question in English, my mind became completely blank. I knew the answer, but I couldn't find the words quickly enough.
I understand that feeling. A lot of learners think they have a vocabulary problem, but sometimes the real problem is that they don't practice using the words they already know. Knowing a word and being able to use that word naturally in a conversation are two completely different skills.
That's so true. I remember learning hundreds of words from books and notebooks. I could recognize them when I saw them, but I almost never used them when I spoke. Then I realized something very important. If I want to speak English, I have to actually speak English. Reading about speaking isn't enough.
Exactly. Imagine learning how to swim by reading books about swimming, but never getting into the water. You might understand everything about swimming, but you still won't know how to move when you're actually in the pool. Speaking works the same way. You have to practice speaking, even when you feel uncomfortable.
And I think making mistakes is one of the biggest fears. People worry that someone will laugh at their pronunciation or grammar. But honestly, most people are too busy thinking about themselves to worry about every little mistake you make.
Absolutely. And mistakes are actually useful. Every time you make a mistake and then learn the correct expression, you become a little better. So instead of thinking, I made a mistake, try thinking, great, now I know how to say it correctly next time.
If you could travel anywhere in the world tomorrow, where would you go? Personally, I would love to visit Japan. I've always been fascinated by the culture, the food, the cities, and the way modern technology exists alongside traditional life. I would love to walk around Tokyo, try local food, and then visit a quiet, traditional town.
Japan would be amazing, but I think I would choose Italy. I want to walk through small streets, eat authentic Italian food, visit historical places, and just enjoy the atmosphere. I don't want to rush from one tourist attraction to another. I want to stay somewhere for a few weeks and experience what normal daily life feels like.
I like that idea. I think traveling is much more than taking photographs. When you visit another country, you get to see how other people live, communicate, work, eat, and spend their free time. Sometimes you come back from a trip with a completely different way of looking at your own life.
Exactly. And that's another reason why learning English is so useful. English can help you communicate with people from different countries. Even if English isn't their first language, you can often find a way to understand each other.
And imagine being in a foreign country and confidently asking someone for directions, ordering food, checking into a hotel, or starting a conversation with a stranger. That feeling must be incredible. You don't need complicated English for those situations. You just need enough confidence to open your mouth and speak.
That's the key. Confidence doesn't come before practice. Confidence comes because of practice. The more you speak, the more familiar the language becomes, and eventually you stop translating every sentence in your head.
Let's try something right now. Imagine that you're meeting someone new for the first time. They smile and ask you, "Where are you from?" Don't translate your answer in your head. Just speak naturally. You could say, "I'm from India, and I'm currently working on improving my English." Simple, right?
Now, imagine they ask you, what do you do in your free time? You could say, I usually watch movies, listen to music, spend time with my friends, or learn something new. You don't need a complicated answer. In real conversations, simple English is often the most useful English.
Then, imagine they ask, "Why are you learning English?" You could say, "I'm learning English because I want to communicate confidently with people from different countries, and I also want better opportunities in the future." That's already a strong answer, and you didn't need any difficult vocabulary.
Here's another important thing. Don't try to translate every word from your native language into English. Instead, learn useful phrases as complete expressions. For example, instead of translating the idea of asking someone to wait, simply remember, give me a moment. Instead of translating every part of a sentence, learn the whole expression and use it naturally.
Yes, that's exactly how I improved. I started collecting everyday expressions instead of memorizing random words. Phrases like, "Let me think," "I'm not sure," "That makes sense," "Give me a second," "To be honest," and "What do you mean?" became part of my daily speaking.
And once you know these expressions, conversations become much easier because you don't have to build every sentence from zero. You already have useful pieces of English ready in your mind.
Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You wake up one morning, start talking to someone in English, and suddenly realize that you're not translating every sentence anymore. You're simply speaking. You might still make mistakes, but you don't panic. you keep talking, and you understand more than you did before.
That future version of you doesn't appear magically. That person is created by what you do today. Every sentence you repeat, every conversation you practice, every new expression you learn, and every mistake you correct is taking you one step closer to becoming a confident English speaker.
So don't compare your English with someone who has been speaking for 10 years. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. If you can speak one sentence more confidently today than you could yesterday, that is progress.
And remember, you don't need to study English for 5 hours every day. Even 15 or 20 minutes of focused speaking practice can make a difference if you do it consistently. The secret isn't doing something huge once. The secret is doing something small, again and again.
Okay, this is your final challenge. I want you to say this with confidence. I am not afraid of making mistakes. I am learning every day, and I am becoming better at English. Now, it's your turn to speak.
Now say this: I don't need perfect English to communicate. I just need to practice, stay consistent, and keep speaking. Now it's your turn.
And one more. I will not wait until I feel confident. I will practice until I become confident. Now it's your turn.
If you repeated those sentences out loud, congratulations! You didn't just watch an English video. You actually practiced speaking.
And that is exactly how shadowing works. Listen, repeat, copy the rhythm, and keep going.
Don't worry about being perfect,
Just keep speaking.
because every time you speak
You become a little more confident.
and every day you practice,
Your English gets a little stronger.
see you in the next practice.
And remember, don't just learn English,
speak it.